Hi, this is Head Harvester Ed LaFlamme from the East Coast. I'm in Connecticut here on a beautiful day, and behind me is Long Island Sound, and it's just awesome. The water's beautiful today. Wish I was out there, but no, I'm going to talk to you about a really important subject, and that's negotiating. Because you know, you're either negotiating with your family, with your clients, or with the employees. You're always negotiating. You may not realize it, but it's happening. So let me give you some tips on how to be a better negotiator, okay? The one thing for sure, especially if you're dealing with a client, is to do your homework. If you're dealing with numbers, maybe you're asking for an increase, make sure you have those numbers down, because you know, if you're not going to sound sure and confident, and you will not present yourself well, and negotiations will not go well. Also, make sure you know what you want. Make sure it's firm what you want. You know, if you're trying to get a 2.5% increase, go in the meeting with that in your mind. And maybe you may have to do some exchanges in order to accomplish that. Maybe some compromises to accomplish that. But at least when you go in, make sure you have a firm idea of exactly what you're looking for. If the situation's turned around and they're asking you for something, then it's the same thing. Listen to what they want. The key here is to ask the right questions. And open-ended questions are the best, not where they can just answer yes or no. You want to ask a question they have to explain. That's really cool. And then do something that I learned in high school years ago, was the Socratic Questioning. So when they give an answer, you ask another question based on what they said to clarify it. All you have to do is ask, why? That's all you have to do. Why? Why do you want this? Why do you want that? How will that help, you see? And you'll continue to draw them out, and that's the key. So by doing this, you'll understand. I have to tell you a story about my past. When I had my company, I had an employee who was upset because I didn't hire him back from the unemployment in the spring. I didn't do that for a specific reason. And he brought me to the EEOC. And so we had an informal hearing. And you know, my mistake was at the hearing just to ask what he wanted. I never did. I was, young and thick-headed. I thought I knew what's right. Well, yeah, I knew what's right, okay, but I left the meeting and it wasn't resolved. So what happened was, a year and a half later, I get another letter in the mail with another hearing. This time, I had to really prepare. And he offensively, he was all over me because my attorney didn't prepare properly. He didn't do his homework, and we were at a big disadvantage. The long and short of it is, it cost me tens of thousands of dollars to get out of that mess. And then I, in retrospect and thinking about the whole thing, all I had to do was ask him what he wanted. We ended up settling almost 2 years later for $3,000. And here is, I spent all this money on attorneys to defend myself, and I didn't even have to do that. I probably could have negotiated the $3,000 down at the original hearing. So you see, I learned my lesson big time. So I've studied negotiating over the years. I've taken seminars, I've read books on it. I just read a book recently, and a lot of people have read this book, Never Split the Difference by Chris Voss. He was the FBI negotiator. What an incredible book. I tell you, you should really read that book. It's amazing. Here's his counsel. He said, when you're in a negotiation, he said, be calm. That's number one. Number one. He said, even as trained as we are, when we get in situations like that, sometimes we're not calm. We get emotional because of what's at stake, people's lives. The other thing is, he said, talk slowly. You don't have to talk fast. It's better if you're slower, deliberately slower, he's saying, because it'll draw the person in. And he said, speak quietly. If you talk slow and speak quietly, you bring that person right into you, and they're really listening to you now, you see? And then, of course, as I already said, listen. You've got to listen. That's key. The other thing is, he brings out too, don't rush. There's no rush. If you don't have time to negotiate, set a different time and date. It's better. Don't take anything personally, because perhaps the person you're talking with may say something that may offend you. If you can just let that slide, it's better to. It really is. Even though you may get a tendency to get a little angry. Again, be calm. Don't let that happen. And make sure that whatever you're going to present, whatever they're offering, will fit the needs of both you. And then that way, it'll be a win-win. The other words of caution: tell the truth, don't exaggerate, be specific, and work to a win-win between you. Because at least in that way, you both leave and you're happy with the decision that you came up with, okay? How do you get better at negotiating? Well, that's easy. Negotiate. So when you finish a negotiation, whatever type it is, analyze how you did. That's after, Think about, how did that go? Did it go the way I wanted it to? Did you prepare enough for it? That's all really important. So we hope this information has helped you to have the points of negotiation be top of mind, because if so, you become a much better negotiator. Okay? There you have it. This is Ed LaFlamme, head harvester from the East Coast, and I hope these points will help you harvest your potential.